Hey there, folks. This is Chris Batchelder, Student Advising Coordinator of CIS Abroad. I'm coming live to you tonight. Today, I'm going to be interviewing our site director of New Zealand. Her name is Helena, and we're going to be chatting with her a little bit today, and we're going to learn what the programs are like over in New Zealand.
Kia ora, ko Helena hinare kulan toko ingoa. That's Maori for hi, my name is Helena hinare kulan. Maori is our indigenous language in New Zealand. We have Maori within our family, and we're very, very passionate about being a bilingual country. So, if you come to New Zealand, you'll get to know a bunch of Maori words, and it's really important to us that you embrace our Indigenous culture. So it's kind of part of our DNA is to ensure that, you get a true bicultural experience. So, that's my commitment. Oh, Sumo's jumping up here. This is Sumo the pug. Say hi, Sumo. Say hi.
Helena, what would you say is like the most common Maori phrase that folks like typically use on a day-to-day basis, you think?
Kia ora. Kia ora.
Kia ora.
Kia ora. So it's if you said it in an English way, it's kia ora, but the true way to say it is kia ora. So Maori vowels are a, e, I, o, u instead of a, e, I, o, u. So your pronunciation is actually really important because it's it shows a sign of respect if you can pronounce something properly. Yeah.
Cool. And what does that mean? What does that word mean?
That means hello.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So you'll hear it like you walk down the street here, and guaranteed to hear somebody go kia ora. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
So what is so when students arrive to New Zealand, when they make the huge voyage traveling over the Pacific Ocean to reach beautiful New Zealand, apart from the jet lag, what is the typical first 24, 48 hours for CIS Abroad folks to first arrive?
So apart from the jet lag, normally I launch upon them and try and keep them awake so they can actually get into New Zealand, into the New Zealand time zone. Students it's really funny, they're normally dead on their feet by 9 o'clock at night. But generally, generally what you can expect to experience is land in the middle of our culture. So typically I meet up with once students settled into their accommodation, whether you're doing an internship or a study abroad program at the university, which is Victoria University. You can expect to settle into your accommodation, meet if you're at university, you'll have a Kiwi host, so there'll be somebody in your accommodation who from the university who'll help you as well. And generally, I just get you to come for a walk around the city, get to know it, understand how you can catch a bus, buy a travel card, and we just cruise, really. We just cruise around the city and, take in a few sights and sounds, have something to eat, and get to know each other and really connect. And I guess the most important thing for me is in that first period of time, I brand myself as Auntie Helena. So, if you think of the cool auntie that you go to, where you can tell them anything, and they'll try and advise you to make good decisions. But at the end of the day, if you have made a mistake, I have a bit of a saying, bad news doesn't get better with age. So, it's really important to me that we establish a relationship where you understand that I'm your safe person. So no matter what happens, I want to share in your joys, and I want to, be there to support you. For any challenges that you may face. So yeah, honestly, we're pretty laid back in New Zealand, very chilled. Our approach is kind of like you join the family over here. We all get to know each other, and it's pretty exciting. And then you have something to eat and go off to sleep, and your New Zealand experience starts. Yeah.
Good. So I know we got a lot of viewers here, like listening in, Helena, to what you have to say here. So I'm just going to say and send a big invitation to everybody, saying to if you have any questions at all today, folks, feel free to drop a comment, and we'll be able to chat a little bit about life over in New Zealand or the programs that we have. So would you say what's a typical thing that students would do like during the weekend, since like most weekends are free for our participants? Like, what's a typical weekend like?
So in Wellington, it's probably one of the most walkable cities in the world. Okay, it's small, but you can walk from one side of Wellington to the other. So you can walk, the waterfront is like pretty much a 5-minute walk from the central CBD. There is always stuff going on the waterfront. Summer in particular, but there's always free stuff going on around the city. So we have loads and loads of public festivals, you name it, cultural events. So much is going on all the time. So we're kind of a big touristy city. It's certainly grown into a touristy city of late. And so what you could expect to do is to participate in one of those, a local event, celebration, festival, whatever. Or, if it's a nasty day, because Wellington is known as the windy capital. So, and I mean wind. Like people go, students arrive and they go, oh, wow, it's windy. I'm like, no, you ain't seen nothing yet. Believe me, you're being knocked off your feet by the wind. That's part and parcel of life in Wellington. Oops, sorry, siren there.
That's okay.
I'm right in the middle of the city. The other thing you can do if it was a rainy, windy day, you can go to Te Papa. So Te Papa is a contemporary museum. If you Google it, go and have a look. It's amazing. It's the most interactive museum that you'll find anywhere in the world. And it really is world-renowned. At the moment, there's still an exhibition on, which is the Gallipoli exhibition. So if you know of Peter Jackson from Lord of the Rings and stuff, so he also was involved to create the giant, and I mean giant, life-size figures, these characters. It's absolutely incredible. You walk through there, like they're like these giant people who, you can see the hair on their skin. You can see, it's just unbelievable. It's very, very hard to describe, but yeah, it's a pretty amazing experience. So there's always interactive exhibitions and all sorts of stuff that's going on there. So Te Papa is definitely one of them on the top of the list, but we try and save that for a rainy day. Otherwise, we like to get out on the harbour. There's loads of water sports to do. There's loads of markets. If it was a Sunday morning, you can go to the fresh vegetable market. There's several around town, one right down on the waterfront. And yeah, so everybody's kind of, it's sort of a city of, the capital of chill, I would say. Everybody's chill. Yeah.
Good. Would you be able to describe what the housing is like for the students who go to the who go on to the study abroad program and the housing that like interns typically live in.
Yep. Okay, so yeah, there is different types of accommodation. So for university students, you will be housed in student flats, so apartments, and well, an apartment. So you can typically expect to go into an older style wooden home, which has it could be sort of around 4 or 5 bedrooms, and you know, I mean, they're good size. Victoria University is on the hill, so unfortunately you do need to climb the hill. I mean, there's stairs. It's easy. There's it's super easy to get around, but the students, because the main Victoria University campus is on the hill, students are like, oh, really? I've got to walk up the hill. You can catch the bus, or you can Uber, or you can do whatever, but yeah. And what else can you expect? You can expect to have a Kiwi host. So the Kiwi host is like I say, a person that will live on site. It could be a Kiwi flatmate. And yeah, what can you expect? I'll show you where local grocery stores are, and you'll kind of sort out your own flat vibe. You know, some do a lot with their other flatmates who can be from all around the world. We don't tend to house study abroad students all together in the same house. There's normally a mix, so you get to meet other people as well. You know, not just students from the US. For our interns, it's a little bit different. Our interns are generally housed in it's an address we call 222 Willow Street, which is actually a Victoria University, like a hall of residence, or it's basically an apartment block. And they have an apartment in there. There's a few apartments in there. We work with a provider into New Zealand. So yeah, there are different types of accommodation, but all of the accommodation is within walking distance of the middle of the city. So
that's cool.
Yeah.
How long does it take to get from one end of the city of Wellington to the other? Is it really big?
No. That's what I say. It's if you walked really fast, you went from, let's say, where our Parliament building is to over the other side. I would say at a maximum 45 minutes.
Okay, yeah, that's not too bad at all.
Yeah, but remember, there's a whole bunch in between. You know, that's kind of going from one extreme to the other. You can walk around the waterfront and probably, I don't know, the waterfront. If you have a look at the harbour, you'll see. I don't know. Depends how fast you walk and what you stop to see, but yeah. I mean, we've got e-scooters all over the place, and a shared bike scheme. So if you want to jump on an Uber scooter, or we also have flamingo scooters. So you'll see people whizzing around all the time on scooters. Yeah.
Now, Helena, have you been to the United States before, or Canada by chance?
I've been to parts of the United States, yeah, not Canada.
So from your experience after having visited the USA, what would you say are some of like the biggest cultural differences that you've noticed? Maybe even how Americans act versus like folks in New Zealand, for instance, or anything that comes to mind. It could even be like food, for instance.
Yeah, I think one of the things to note is that, and this is a little bit of a touchy subject, but Americans, or some Americans at times, are perceived to be very loud and very brave.
You don't say, huh?
Yeah, exactly. So, what I would respectfully say is, if you can tone it down when you come here. I know you're really excited, but dial it back. dial it back because Kiwis are very humble people, and so they don't respect self-promotion when they first meet somebody. They would respect somebody being humble and it doesn't and authentic. That's the most important thing. Is just be yourself. Just be really authentic. So yeah, like I say, Kiwis are pretty chilled out, so they'll get the measure of you by probably that first interaction. So it might just be trying, kia ora, and say I'm from America. I'm just trying this out, and so yeah, be humble and respectful about that because people love it when you try, and you don't have to get it right. But people are like, oh, that's really cool. They're trying our Maori language, which is really important. So the other differences, what are there? I have this really cool student, like really cool guy, who did this. He had this thing around Kiwi slang, and he was determined to have a Kiwi accent. He sounded more like an Australian by the time he left. But this guy just rocked, eh? I just loved him. So, and he made this kind of dictionary of Kiwi slang. So things like people will go, oh yeah, bro, which is that right? Sort of bro is a thing in New Zealand, or what a number of Kiwis say at the end of sentences is, oh, you know what I mean, eh? So I don't know why we add a at the end, but it's beyond me. But it's a real Kiwi thing. What are the other differences? You can buy a multitude of foods. Like Wellington, you can get every cultural food. If you're hankering, like that same guy said to me, oh, Auntie Helena, I can't live without my pepper. And that's not a normal, we call them soft drinks, you call them soda, yeah?
Yeah.
So that's not a normal drink that you would, most people, if they're going to drink soda, would have Coke or lemonade or something like that. And he was like, I'm really sorry, but I can't live without this. And I was like, that's okay. So I Googled it and found a local supermarket countdown. I was like, dude, okay. And, I'll take, there was a countdown close by. Come on then, let's go, and I'll grab you a whole pile of Dr. Pepper. And yeah, he was like, oh, thank you. It's like, so I'm addicted to like Diet Coke or Pepsi Max, so I completely get it. Like if I was isolated, if I was in isolation with coronavirus for 14 days, I have to have a really big supply of like Diet Coke or Pepsi Max. Otherwise, like seriously, I will have withdrawals and go postal. So I got it. Yeah.
Okay, so folks, you hear that. If you do a CIS abroad program in New Zealand, if you want to get on Psych Director Helena's good side, just bring a ton of Diet Coke and Pepsi Max, and you'll be on her good side for while you're there.
You can bribe your way into my heart really easily with the Diet Coke. Yeah.
There you go. There you go. You heard it here. So, Helena, is there any other? We've taken quite a bit of your time today. Once again, thanks so much for spending your morning over here. Chatting with us on Instagram. I'll invite folks one more time to type in a question that they might have that they'd like to ask you. But in the meantime, are there any thoughts that you'd like to share as to why folks should definitely come to New Zealand at least once in their lifetime?
So I can tell you 100% of the students and interns who have come to New Zealand, when I ask them a question at the end, has this changed your life? 100% have said yes. It's really hard to describe. So I can tell you all the cool things, but I'm already passionate about my city. I love my city. I've travelled all around the world. I've lived and worked in many different countries around the world, but I can honestly tell you that there's some magic to the city. It's called Wellington. Is called the coolest little capital in the world. But so I would say, if you want to connect with somebody, I can connect you with students who've been here before, and you can hear it from them. But really, what the transformation occurs in your life when you embrace things that are outside of your comfort zone a little bit. You're halfway around the world. You've always got me. You've got the cool auntie who you can ring 24 hours a day and go, oh my God, I'm so homesick at the moment. And I'm like, what do you need right now? Like, let's figure it out, Maybe that's just jumping online and talking to home or whatever. But whilst you're here, like, you put yourself out there. So I've got a student here at the moment who is from Washington and has never been on a hike in their life, and who arrived the day they arrived. I've got also a huge group of students from Arizona State University here, and we were going on a hike round to, it's called Red Rocks, and you see seals and all sorts of stuff. And I had no idea he'd never done a hike before. He didn't say a word, and he was really excited, and he just embraced it. And like, he finished the hike, and he was like, "Oh my God, I'm so proud of myself." And when I found out, I was like, "Dude, that's so cool! Like, what an amazing, brave thing! Your first day in New Zealand, never done a hike before, and you went, yeah, bring it on." Another young woman. She was amazing. She was from, I can't remember, Kalamazoo, right? Kalamazoo, which I honestly actually don't know where it is in the US, but she'd never touched the ocean. And so I videoed her touching the ocean. Like, do you know what a privilege that is for me? To be able to see. It's like watching a baby take their first steps in life, and she was just delighted, and she was like, "Oh my God, salt water's like," she'd been on a lake before. Apparently they live near a big lake. But yeah, it was like, how cool is that? So there's a bunch of experiences that I can't tell you what you're going to have. I can't tell you what's going to be the transformational bit for you, because every single person is individual. But I promise you, if you come, in fact, I give you an absolute guarantee. If you come over to New Zealand, if you're brave enough to come halfway around the world, know that you've got me as a safe person, and you embrace the opportunity, all of the opportunities that come your way, you will never, ever regret it. In fact, not only will you not regret it, you'll look back across your entire life and think, I did that. Yeah.
Nice. Nice. Makes me want to travel over to New Zealand real quick, Helena. And I was actually looking at round trip flights from for a student the other day from Texas over to Wellington. I saw that they were only $1,200 last time I checked for a round trip.
Fantastic.
So not too bad. Good time to travel over to New Zealand. Make sure to check online, because flight prices aren't as high as you might think they are. But you're always welcome in Northampton, Massachusetts. If you want to drop by and say hi to us.
I want to come over there. I've been to New York, and I've been out. I had some work. I went out to Trenton, New Jersey, but I've travelled a little bit of the States. But one of the things on my bucket list is, you're probably too young to remember, but the movie Thelma and Louise,
Oh, yeah, I know that one.
yeah, traveling across the US. I want to get, my partner and I, we want to get like a, open top Mustang or something. And I know it sounds really cheesy and cliche, but
not at all.
the biggest thing I learned about the US, honestly, 100%. We talk about the US being one country. To me, the US is like Europe. It's like, 56 different countries rolled in together under this. I've met people, students from Texas and students from California, and it's almost like they speak different languages at times. So it's really, really interesting that, as Kiwis, we've got this assumption, oh, they're from the US. It's like, nah, that's a whole bunch of different countries. Yeah, and I love learning. So this is a reciprocal relationship with me. I love learning from you. You teach, students teach me every single day about, generational stuff, or it could be about your country, your experiences. I just had a student here who was amazing. Actually had a student from Australia who, and a bunch from the US who were flatting together. And like the US students were like, dude, the guy from Australia, you know more about US politics than we do. And he was incredible, because I can't, I don't understand all the machinations of the US political system at all. But yeah, I can promise you, the other thing is, if you ever have a concern around your political allegiance and what you might experience, I can promise you that I don't care who you vote for. I don't care what religion you're from. I don't care what's your sexuality. What I care about is that you bring a great attitude here to New Zealand, and we celebrate in New Zealand diversity and inclusion, 100%.
Couldn't agree more there.
Yep. So bring it on. We've got Pride tomorrow here. So we're really excited. Yeah.
No. Well, I hope that this conversation has been helpful, just as helpful to the folks listening as it has been for me, Helena. So, once again, thank you very much for taking the time out of your day to chat with me. I want to go to New Zealand now more than ever. I'll have to talk with the fiance about maybe honeymoon part 2, and then
there you go. Absolutely.
Very good. So we'll talk to you soon, and we'll keep in touch.
Absolutely. Take care. So the Maori word for goodbye, haere mai.
Adi mai.
Haere mai.
Haere mai.
Haere mai. Yep.
Haere mai.
Cool. See you later, guys.
Bye.
Bye.